Taehyung. She is the girl who changed my entire life. Wangxian looked at Taehyung suspiciously and asked slowly, Wangxian, Taehyung, is she your girlfriend? But before Taehyung could even reply, the girl laying on the bed suddenly opened her eyes. Then slowly, she sat up on the bed. At first, her expression stayed completely normal while looking at Taehyung. But the moment her eyes landed on Wangxian, something suddenly changed inside her. Her breathing became uneven, and panic instantly appeared on her face. Before anyone could understand anything, the girl suddenly grabbed the lamp kept beside the bed and rushed towards Wangxian aggressively. Wangxian froze completely in fear. Everything happened so suddenly that she could not even react properly. But before the girl could reach her name, Taehyung immediately held her wrist tightly and stopped her. Taehyung, calm down. She is not a bad person. She will not hurt you. But the girl still kept trying to attack Taehyung fearfully, as if she was terrified of her for some reason. Meanwhile, Yeonim stood there completely shocked and scared. She could not understand what was happening or why this girl was reacting like this. Taehyung somehow managed to take the girl back towards the bed, and quickly he opened the bedside drawer and took out an injection. Before the girl could even realize it, Taehyung carefully injected it into her arm. Slowly, the girl's movements started becoming weak. Her eyes began closing again, and within a moment, she fell unconscious once more. And now, once again, she was lying silently on the bed with her eyes closed. Taehyung slowly turned back and looked at Wangxian. He immediately walked towards her and asked in a worried voice, Taehyung, your name, are you okay? But Wangxian was completely shocked, so shocked that she could not even reply. Seeing her condition, Taehyung gently pulled her into his chest. Taehyung, I'm sorry, your name. Because of me, you are going through all of this. Yeonim slowly pulled away from his chest. When she looked at him with heartbroken eyes, Wangxian, she's your girlfriend. You betrayed me. If she is your girlfriend, then why did you marry me? Tell me, Taehyung, why did you marry me? Taehyung, your name, you are misunderstanding. She's not my girlfriend. Wangxian, then who is she? And what is she doing inside your mansion? If she's not your girlfriend, then what is she to you? To hide her, you were giving sleeping pills to your own wife every night. Taehyung, your name, I know I am wrong, but please don't say things like that. My heart, my mind, everything belongs only to you. I can't even think about loving someone else beside you. Hearing those words, Yeonim's anger slowly started melting away. The pain inside her heart became slightly lighter. Then she looked at him and asked softly, Wangxian, then who is she? Taehyung slowly held Yeonim's face gently in both of his hands. Then, looking directly into her eyes, he spoke softly. Taehyung, first, calm down, control your anger. Yeonim immediately held his breast tightly. Her eyes were already getting emotional again. Wangxian, Taehyung, please, tell me the truth. I can't wait even one more second now. I want to know everything right now. Please tell me everything. Taehyung quietly listened to her words, then, without saying anything, he gently held her hand and softly walked her towards the sofa. Taehyung, sit here. Wangxian silently sat down. Taehyung sat beside her too. But before saying anything, Taehyung slowly closed his eyes for a moment and let out a deep breath as if after years he was finally preparing himself to tell someone the truth hidden inside his heart. Taehyung, your name, this girl, is not an ordinary girl. She is the sister of one of the most dangerous mafia kings. The moment those words left Taehyung's mouth, Wangxian froze in shock. Her eyes widened instantly. Wangxian, what? But when? Why is she here? And why did she try to attack me? Taehyung lowered his gaze for a few seconds, as if remembering something painful. Then he slowly spoke. Taehyung, everything she did today, there's a very big reason behind it. Yeonam's heartbeat slowly started getting faster. Questions after questions were filling her mind again. She immediately looked at Taehyung and asked, Wangxian, but what connection does she have with you? Why are you hiding her here? And why? Why are you hiding your own identity from the whole world too? Why are you leaving behind fake faces? Who you are really, Taehyung? And what truth are you hiding from me? Taehyung slowly closed his eyes. A heavy silence filled the room. Then after a few seconds, he finally opened his eyes again. But this time, there was pain in them. A pain Yeonam had never seen before. And then, he spoke. Taehyung, after finishing college, I started getting involved with my dad's business. At first, I was doing it only because it was expected from me. But slowly, business became my passion. My interest kept growing. And before I even realized it, my strategies, my decisions started taking the company to height no one had imagined. The company made profits so big that even since the company was built, it had never achieved something like that before. Wangxian quietly kept listening, not interrupting him even once, because she could feel this was not just a story. This was him opening a part of himself that he had hidden from everyone. Then my mind started working faster, bigger, smarter, and within just 3 to 4 years, I built my own company. I opened branches in some of the biggest cities around the world because I wanted my company to reach the level I had dreamed about at the very beginning. And slowly, everything started happening exactly the way I wanted. My company grew. My name started appearing among top business owners. Money, fame, status, luxury, power. I was getting everything. Everything was perfect. Then suddenly, Taehyung stopped speaking. For a few seconds, only silence remained inside the room. Then slowly, his expression changed. The calmness in his eyes disappeared, and something painful replaced it. Taehyung, but 3 years ago, something happened in my life. Something I never imagined, not even in my worst nightmares. And after that day, nothing was ever the same again. Wangxian spoke in a very low voice, almost like she was scared of hearing the answer. Wangxian, what happened 3 years ago? Taehyung quietly lowered his gaze. For a few seconds, he said nothing. The silence inside the room suddenly felt heavy. Then slowly, Taehyung took a deep breath, as if he was preparing himself to reopen wounds that never truly healed. Taehyung, your name. Even after having money, fame, respect, status, everything, I was still very down to earth. For me, my family, and the people close to my heart always mattered the most. Taehyung stopped speaking for almost 2 seconds, as if remembering those memories were becoming difficult for him. Then slowly he continued. I had a childhood best friend, Zan. For me, he was like my own brother. And that girl, her name is Lena. She was my friend's girlfriend. She has no parents, only an elder brother, and her brother was the underworld mafia king. His man listened to only 2 people, him and Lena. Wangxian silently kept listening, not saying a single word. One day, her mafia brother fixed her marriage with one of his mafia associates. But Lena loved Jan, and her brother never accepted that. He wanted her to marry someone from his own world, so he could expand his influence even further. Lena clearly told her brother that she would only marry the person she loved, and after that, she left his house forever, because she knew her brother would only think about his own benefit, and one day force her to marry someone she did not even know. Taehyung's eyes slowly darkened, his finger tightened slightly. But the moment her brother found out that Lena was planning to leave, he secretly ordered his man to damage her car brakes. Lena did not know that her car had been sabotaged. She got into the car and drove to Jan's house. At first, everything seemed normal. The brakes were still working, no one realizing anything was wrong. And then, Lena and Jan left together in that same car because they were going for a court marriage. But when they reached a halfway bridge, the brakes completely stopped working. Both of them panicked. They did not understand what to do. Jan somehow tried controlling the car, and carefully turned it towards a less crowded road, because he did not want anyone else getting hurt because of them. But the car kept moving, and the road he took was not a normal road. Big import-export trucks used that route, and they had no idea about it. Then suddenly, they saw a truck coming from the opposite side. Zan immediately turned the steering wheel, trying to avoid it, but the car lost control and crashed violently into a huge tree. Wangxian slowly covered her mouth, her eyes filling with shock. Lena lost consciousness immediately, but Zan got badly injured. Glass pieces hurt his face and body badly. One of his arms was severely injured. His chest bone was broken, and he was in unbearable pain. But even in that condition, He somehow forced himself up, and the first thing he checked was Lena. He saw that Lena was unconsciously laying on the back seat in a weird state. There was no one around to help them. No one. Taehyung's voice slowly became heavier. And then Zayn called me. He told me they had met with an accident and told me their location. The moment I found out, I left my company immediately and rushed to there. My bodyguard came with me too. Silence filled the room. Wangxian sat frozen because somewhere deep inside, she could already feel something terrible had happened that day. When I reached there, I could not even look Jan's condition properly. He was completely covered in blood. I tried to pull him out of the car, but maybe somewhere he already knew that he did not have much time left. That his final moment had came. Taehyung's voice became heavier and tears rolling down from his eyes. Zan held my hand and in a painful voice, he said, Taehyung, you are my best friend. You have always been there for me. But maybe after today, I would not be able to ask anything from you anymore. Taehyung slowly lowered his eyes as if remembering that moment hurt him. Then Jan placed Lena's hand into mine and said, Lena is carrying my child. She is 3 months pregnant. I know I don't have much time left. That's why I'm trusting you with her. Please take care of her and my child too. Wangxian quietly sat there, completely silent. I immediately stopped him. I told him, what are you saying? Nothing will happen to you. Nothing will happen to your girlfriend. Nothing will happen to your baby. Then me and my bodyguard somehow pulled him out of the car and carefully put him into my car. We were about to take Lena out too. But suddenly, Jan's breathing started getting worse. Much worse. So I immediately told my bodyguard, take him to the hospital now. Because Lena was only unconscious. But if we wasted even a little more time, anything could have happened to Jan. I told him not to worry about Lena, that she had been okay, that she had only fainted. And then my bodyguard rushed him to the hospital. Taehyung slowly clenched his fingers together while saying, Lena was still laying there unconscious. She had some injuries too. I tried waking her up, splashed water on her face, and slowly she regained consciousness. The first thing she asked about opening her eyes was about Zayn. So I told her everything, that Zayn had been taken to the hospital. But Lena was terrified, completely terrified. She looked at me and said, we have to leave right now. We are not safe here. I know it. My brother did this. He made the bricks fail. He wanted to kill me and Jane. Her fear, the way she was shaking, felt strange to me. Because why would a brother kill his own sister? But Lena was so scared that after hearing her, I somehow started that damaged car again. Because we did not have another option. And then we left that place. While driving, Lena told me everything about her brother. She told me how he wanted to force her into a marriage with another mafia family. And because she refused, he wanted to get rid of her. And after hearing all that, Lena's safety has become my biggest responsibility. Because I had promised my friend that I would not let anything happen to her or his child. Then after some time, we reached a bridge. But suddenly, I saw black luxurious cars coming towards us. 3 cars and around 20 people. Armed, dangerous, and among them was Lena's brother, along with his man. They surrounded our car completely, and then, on his order, one of his men poured fuel around our car, like they wanted to make sure we had no way out. Then Lena's brother looked at me through the window and said, "So you are the one because of whom my sister went against my decision. The one she chose over her own brother." Lena was about to tell him that I was not the person he thought I was. But I stopped her because I understand something. If he found out that Zayn was the real person Lena loved, he would immediately send people after him. And Zayn was already fighting for his life. I could not let that happen. Never. Taehyung's voice slowly became heavier. Taehyung, my friend was more precious to me than my own life. But I had also promised him that I had protect Lena. And at that moment, saving her felt like the hardest thing I had ever done. Taehyung paused for a second, then slowly continued. But maybe, for the first time, Faith stood beside me, because suddenly I saw a huge goods transporter coming from the front. Lena's brother was about to throw fire towards our car, but before that, the truck passed between us, and for a few seconds, it became a wall between us and them. Those few seconds were enough. Me and Lena immediately got out of the car and jumped down from the bridge. And the moment that truck moved away, they set the car on fire. Silence filled the room, and this time, even your name could not breathe properly listening to everything. After setting the car on fire, one of those men suddenly said, "Boss, I think there's no one inside that car." But the fire had already spread badly. The car was burning so furiously that they could not properly see whatever someone was inside or not. But then they started doubting something, that maybe we had jumped into the water, because under that bridge there was a large water reservoir. So immediately they looked down. But the water was completely still. No movement, no sign of anything. But even that, they started firing bullets into the water, again and again and again. Wangxian unconsciously held her breath, listening to him. And then Lena's brother said, "You all are overthinking. Those two are already dead. And if anyone's still thinking they are alive, then listen carefully. If I ever find that boy alive, I will erase his entire family from this world. And after saying that, they finally left. Wangxian stared at Taehyung in disbelief. Wangxian, but how did both of you hear all this? We both jumped from the bridge, right? Taehyung slowly looked at her, then quietly said, Taehyung, we did jump, but we never fall into the water. Wangxian froze. Taehyung slowly continued. Me and Lena were hanging beneath the bridge, holding onto the lower support structure, while staying completely silent. Just one small mistake, and we both would have died that day. That night, we somehow survived, and in the darkness, through empty roads, me and Lena somehow reached my dad's farmhouse because we could not risk Lena's brother or his man finding us. At the farmhouse, we were finally safe, or at least that's what I thought. But Lena, she told me something. She said, my brother is mafia. You can't understand how his mind works. He can do things you can't even imagine. We are not safe here either. He will find out everything about you. Who you are, where you live, who your family is, everything. Taehyung slowly clenched his fist. I don't know what to do. What decision was right and what was not. Yes, I had money, power, resources. If I wanted one order from me, and he could disappear forever. But I could not do that, because this was not only about me anymore. It was about my family. And Lena was right. He was a mafia. Finding information, finding people was too easy for him. One mistake from me and my entire family could pay the price. And I could never let that happen. Taehyung's eyes slowly turned red. Taehyung, even after having everything, I felt completely helpless, completely powerless. I told everything to Dad. Dad wanted to take action too, but I stopped him. Because I know someone like him could not be stopped that easily. For him, destroying someone's life was easier than breathing. And that same night, news spread everywhere. Every channel, every article, every business page was showing only one headline. Taehyung slowly closed his eyes as if even remembering that headline hurt him. Then quietly, he spoke. The youngest billionaire, owner of XYZ company, Kim Taehyung, died in a sudden car fire accident. A girl named Lena, who was reportedly with him, also lost her life. Wangxian froze completely. Taehyung slowly laughed, but that laugh carried pain, a pain that felt broken. Taehyung, Lena was right. Her brother was far more dangerous than I imagined. He did not let even a single truth come out into the world. He used his resources, his power, his influence, and turned fake news into reality in front of the whole world. Everyone believed it. Everyone that came Taehyung was dead. That Lena was dead. And from that day onward, the world started believing in a lie. Silence filled the room because your name was slowly realizing the man standing in front of her had been living like a ghost for 3 whole years. We stayed at that farmhouse for 2 days, and then on the 3rd day, I got the news. Taehyung suddenly stopped speaking. His voice broke. His hands slowly covered his face, as if even today those memories were unbearable. Wangxian, what was that news? Zen did not survive. He passed away during treatment.